Hi there everybody and welcome to a belated collection update. This will include quite a few games, a few peripherals, Blu-ray, and also, as you can see right away, a couple of t-shirts, one of which I'm wearing right now, the Portal Aperture Laboratories t-shirt. It's the red version, which I thought was quite nice, and I also got Foxhounds for Metal Gear Solids, which is also quite nice as well. I got both of these off of eBay, yeah, really comfortable t-shirts. And let's. I'm going to get started on the games. Funny enough, this very first stack, a friend of mine was given all of these games for nothing, but he didn't really want them. They're all like PS3 games, and I said, like, if you don't want them, I wouldn't mind having them if you want. I'll even pay you for it. And he said, yeah, okay, just give me like 20 to 30 quid and I'll let you have them. I was like, okay, that's fair enough. And yeah, here are the games. First one is Pure. Very good off-road sort of racing game. And the next one, also from Black Rock Studios, who made Pure, is Split Second. A game I've not actually played. I remember Blur and Split Second came out around the same time, and I sort of, along with a lot of my friends, opted for Blur, because we sort of like look at it more, and also it's from the creators of the Project Gotham games, so we kind of wanted to give that a try. Plus, it was sort of more Mario Kart like. But this one, I played it for about half an hour so far, and yeah, it's pretty decent so far. Next, we have Heavenly Sword. I believe it's the first game on the PlayStation 3. It's actually a PS3 exclusive from Ninja Theory, who also made Enslaved Odyssey to the West, and that other game that I will not mention. This is a 3D action game. Very sort of cinematic. It's very similar to like Enslaved, like the cutscenes and the visuals. Has like a very cinematic feel to it, and yeah, it's alright. It's not at the same level graphically or gameplay wise as Enslaved, but yeah, it's still good. Next we have Alpha Protocol, very underrated RPG from Obsidian, who also made, I believe, South Park Stick of Truth. And not played a lot of this one, sadly, but it's very Mass Effect style, where your choices have like real effect on your relationships with your like AI partners, and you're basically a special agent. I don't really know a lot about the story so far, but it plays very solid. It doesn't look the best, but the choices you can make and the actions you can choose in like the action sections of the game are yeah, quite varied. So yeah. This is actually a game I did own previously, but ended up selling it, but I brought it back, and that's Just Cause 2. I did have Just Cause 3, however, I don't know, after a while I just got really bored of it. It was just like the same thing over and over again. I'm more of like a narrative like type of game. I enjoy that sort of thing. I don't mind like the arcadey sort of action style games too, but Just Cause 3, I don't know, it just felt very sort of repetitive after a while, and just gave up in the end. But hopefully this one, apparently this one is better, so we'll see how it is. I played a few missions. I got up to the sort of first mission where you're sort of riding along all the vehicles and have to sort of switch between, well, quite early on. Next we have Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. game I have played before and really enjoyed it, especially the introduction of the multiplayer. I actually went to one of the first like Eurogamer expos where they were showing off the multiplayer, and I was like so impressed by it. I was just like, wow, it's going to be like a completely new like breath of fresh air for multiplayer genre. And for a while it kind of was, but then as like the yearly sort of Assassin's Creed games came out, it sort of became more and more sort of by the numbers really. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best in the series. And speaking of which, also Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which I did actually own on the PS4, is one of the first games I bought for the PS4, even though coming coming off of Assassin's Creed 3, I did not like Assassin's Creed 3 at all, and I was actually on a trip in Maidstone with a few friends of mine, and we went into a CEX, and we had like there was a copy of like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag on the PS4. I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. And I was pleasantly surprised by the sort of change of scenery with like the pirates and all that. It really did give it a sort of new lease of life, I guess. Even though it's you're technically not really an assassin, I guess. The game itself is really good, especially the sailing missions. Probably one of the few redeeming features from Assassin's Creed 3. Okay, next we have Need for Speed Undercover. I haven't really played many Need for Speed games. I got the most recent one last video I did. I tried it. It was good for a while. I just gave up in the end because again it was just very repetitive, and I don't know, it just didn't really engage me. But this one's not too bad so far. I mean, visually it's not the best. It's one of the sort of early titles for the PS3, but yes, it's not bad. Next up, a really good title. I was surprised this was in like this cluster of games here, and that was Portal 2. I did actually have a copy of Portal 2 already, but this one, the disc was in slightly better condition, so I decided to keep this one and get rid of the other one. So, but yeah, really good first-person puzzle game from Valve, who really should start making more games now, and especially like make a third game for this, but they can't count to 3 apparently. So yeah. Next we have, and I'll get to this later, Guitar Hero World Tour. Now this, I didn't have a guitar controller at the time for the PS3, so I was unable to play, but I tested it, works fine. Yeah, really good. I was surprised by the sort of very track list. It had Beat It by Michael Jackson, No Sleep Till Brooklyn from Beastie Boys, what else, Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, loads of good stuff. So yeah, really good game. We'll get to more of those type of games shortly. Next up, probably the only good game, well, I'm being generous, the only decent game that was made by a company called Grin, who also made what was it, the Bionic Commando remake, and also Terminator Salvation. Oh god. But this game is probably the best of like the bunch that they made, and that's Wanted Weapons of Fate. It's a third-person shooter action game, where like the sort of gimmick is like you can curve your bullets, and yeah, I've never actually seen the movie, so I don't know how faithful it is to the movie. But the actual game itself it's not bad. It's a sort of cover shooter more than anything else. You can't really sort of go out guns blazing, otherwise you're going to die. But it's very sort of Gears of War, Uncharted-esque, where you have to sort of stay in cover and then sort of pick your moments to shoot the enemies. So yeah. Next, another open world racing game is Midnight Club Los Angeles. I did play the third game in the series on the PS2, and I liked it. It was no burnout, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, this one it's okay so far. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. Next, no, this one is a classic, although probably not the best on PS3. It's probably better on the PC and 360, and that is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I'll be honest, I'm more a fan of Skyrim personally, because when I first played Oblivion on the 360, one of the first games I actually owned on the 360, I never really played a game like this before, so I was very confused about what to do, where to go, and I'd quite often get my ass kicked. And but now playing it back again, I can understand why it's so revered and so loved. And yeah, really really good game. Definitely recommend it. If probably more so on the 360 and PC than PS3, but still it's still. Next we have another game that I played before, and that is Prototype. It's a third-person open-world action game, similar to the to Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, and like Crackdown, where you play as Alex Mercer, who's I believe he's like a scientist who sort of catches this this sort of mutation and is able to do like these really outlandish sort of superhuman type things. And yeah, the story more so is very interesting. It has a very interesting twist near the end of the game, and although I would say the final boss is complete bullshit, if you played this you know what I mean. Very tough, very challenging, but at the same time you feel very rewarded once you beat it. And yeah, pretty good. I kind of fluctuate whether I prefer Prototype or Crackdown, but yeah, they're both good. Next up we have this is a great one, Mafia II. Very interested to see how Mafia 3 turns out. It's funny, I was watching the Champions League final, and it just went to an ad break, and they showed the trailer for Mafia 3, and I was kind of on the fence at first, but then I saw that trailer, I was like, my god, I need to play this when it comes out. But Mafia 2, yeah, fantastic open world, sort of GTA type game. Not that much to do in terms of like mini games compared to that series, but the sort of narrative, the story. If you're a fan of that as much as I am, then you'll definitely have a great time playing this. You play as Vita Scaletta, who's just come back from World War One. I believe it's World War One. It might be World War Two. I'm not sure. And he sort of has to sort of try and sort of make his way back into everyday life again, and sort of along with his friend Joe, tries to sort of build like an empire. And yeah, it's a really really good solid game. Graphically not the greatest, and the shooting can be a bit hit or miss, but the story is fantastic, definitely worth it. And finally, from those stack of games, I have the Simpsons Game, a game that I've not played before. I played Simpsons Hit and Run on the PS2. That was really good. But this one, yeah, apparently it's one of the better Simpsons games out there, and you play as like all the sort of main sort of Simpsons family, and yeah, really good game. It sort of parodies a lot of the a lot of games like Shadow of the Colossus and like Katamari, sort of weird games like that, which is really interesting. But yeah, that's it for all the PS3 games that I have that I sort of got for that sort of small amount of money. Let's move on to the others. Okay, so next up we have a very sort of interesting item that I've been looking for quite some time. Quite a few months ago, I bought a GameCube, and one of the things I really wanted to get was a GameCube player for Game Boy Advance, Game Boy games that you can play on the GameCube on the big screen. And I've been looking for one for ages, and I finally found one on Facebook. Comes with the Game Boy Player, and most importantly, the actual disc itself. Now I checked it, and it doesn't seem to have that many. Well, it's got a few scratches, but it should. I've tested it; it works fine. So, but yeah, the only handheld game I have, Game Boy wise, is Pokemon Red, the original, and I'm sort of looking to build a sort of Game Boy Advance collection eventually. I've got a few games downloaded on the Wii U, but there's just nothing like having the physical version really. So yeah, I'm very happy to have those. Next, now the PS3 games I showed you earlier, there were a lot more. However, I'd either had them already or just weren't interested in keeping those, so decided to trade them in at CEX, and with the trading value I got the following things. I got Prototype 2, a game that I actually rented when I had a Love Film account, when you had the ability to actually rent games as well as films, and then they sort of took that away, which I was really upset about. But yeah, I played this. I didn't really sort of bother with the side content as much as the first game, but yeah, the story wasn't as good as the first one personally, but it had a really good sort of final boss, much better than the first game, and a pretty satisfactory conclusion. You play as Sergeant James Heller this time, and it's basically Alex Mercer's killed his family, and he's sort of on a revenge mission basically, and yeah, but the gameplay itself is pretty much similar to the first one with a few little tweaks here and there. But yeah, not a bad little game. And next up we have a trilogy of PS3 games, not ones that I have not actually played before, if you can believe it, and that is Fear 2, and Fear 3. First person shooters / horror game or horror series, and you do play as several different characters through the course of this series. I know that, but you're constantly being stalked by Alma, the girl in the sort of cover there, and yeah, it's, from what I've seen, the first one apparently is the best one. Although from the footage I've seen, I'm like, is it really? But apparently it is very good. The second one, just almost as good as the first, and the third one, people kind of sort of hit or miss about this one, mainly because the co-op that it has integrated on this one, and you know that co-op and horror usually doesn't mix. Resident Evil 5, but yeah, apparently a really good series. I've never actually played one, so yeah, really looking forward to changing that. And finally, through the credit that I got for the sort of PS3 games, a Blu-ray. Probably one of my favourite films, one of my favourite comedies, and that is Groundhog Day, starring Bill Murray and Danny McDowell. A really, really good movie. Probably one of my favourite Bill Murray films. If we're taking out Ghostbusters 1 and 2 out of the equation, I'd probably say either this or Scrooged was probably my favourite Bill Murray movie. So, but yeah, really good movie. Basically, he's sort of stuck in a continuous loop where he's his character's reliving every day, like over and over and over again, and it just gets it just gets so much more ridiculous the more it goes on. But yeah, really good movie. I don't have many Blu-ray movies. I should probably make that a collection video in itself one day. Stay tuned. Right. I actually, these next ones I bought for like buy two get one free in game. And they are Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, which doesn't actually. Actually, I should, before I start with these, I did also go out and buy a PS3 Rock Band controller, along with the little dongle, which I don't have on me right now, but it's only because I bought this only because like the PS4 one doesn't work with the PS3, so I had to find one of these in CX in Brentwood, I think it was. So yeah, really happy to have that. The keys are a little bit stiff, but it still works fine. And okay, yeah, back to the games. Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, which doesn't actually work with that controller, so I'm probably going to have to get rid of this. I only paid like £4 or £5 maximum for all three of these, so yeah. Next up is the Beatles Rock Band, and I'm sort of looking to get as many Rock Band Guitar Hero titles as possible, so quite happy to have this one. And one that I haven't actually tested yet, and that's Guitar Hero 5. I'm hoping that it works with my the Rock Band controller, but I know that World Tour that I showed you previously does actually work, so I'm hoping this one does as well. So, oh, and also in another game, actually also in Brentwood, I think it was, for a few quid I bought Rock Band 2. So I have Rock Band 1, Rock Band 2, just looking to get the third one now to complete the set. Right, now the PS4 games. First one, funny story, I actually went into a Sainsbury's because if you pre-ordered Deus Ex Mankind Divided, you get like a free little figure. But when I went in there, it wasn't actually available to pre-order yet. But I was actually sort of looking around the sort of game section there, and I saw this for £15. I did have it on the PS3 previously, but I thought, why not get it for PS4? And that is Deadpool. Another third-person action game which doesn't really take itself too seriously whatsoever. There's a lot of in jokes like with like other games, and sort of makes fun of itself, and like sort of the gaming sort of tropes that you see like throughout like a lot of like the sort of generic games now and again. So but yeah, really fun game. Very short, too short unfortunately, but yeah, it's not bad. Next up, this is actually one that I saw from another video. I believe it's Champion 2D Rob or 2D Champion Rob. I forget, my memory's not very good. And he had a game for PS4 that I didn't realise got a physical version, and that is Mega Man Legacy Collection. And this comes with the first 6 Mega Man games. I'm kind of disappointed it didn't come with 7, and also like was it 9 and 10 that came out on the last gen consoles. But it's still a decent collection for the price, and as for get a physical version, it's not open. It's still sealed, simply because I already bought it digitally, and then I didn't realise that there was a physical version, but yeah, I'll definitely hang on to this one and keep it sealed for now. Right, I believe this one was in the same place I bought the Rock Band controller, and that is, I'm going to try and pronounce this right, Disgaea. Forgot that right? Disgaea 5, Disgaea, whatever. This is a strategy RPG similar to like games like Final Fantasy Tactics, Advance Wars, things like that. Fire Emblem as well. Not played it. Not played any of the games in this series, but I've heard good things from a friend of mine, so I thought, why not? Let's pick it up. Next, we have a remake of a very late PS2 title, some of which not many have played, because by the time it came out, a lot of people have moved on to like the 360 and PS3, and that is Odin Sphere. I'm trying to say the subtitle. Leaf Frazier, I think. that bit there I can never get right. But this is a 2D action RPG where you sort of level up a variety of different characters, as you can see on the back here. I didn't really play much of it on the PS2, but from what I did play, it was the combat especially was really fun, and the visuals. It's very, if you've played a game called Dragon's Crown, it's very similar visually to this, and yeah, it's really enjoyable so far. I've only played the first couple levels, but yeah, really good. Lastly, for the PS4 games, as you can see just up there, I got Oddworld New and Tasty, which was from Limited Run Games, and they actually released another title that I was interested in. I again, like New and Tasty, already downloaded it digitally, but this one is Octodad, Dadliest Catch. I'll just show you little cards I got there. Just prove I'm not lying. Now this is I think they call it like a co-op game, where you sort of, with your like controller or keyboard, like all the keys are sort of different limbs where you sort of move around. It's quite it's not very easy to control at first, but over time you sort of get used to it. And basically there's this octopus who's sort of parading around as this father, basically, of these two kids and a wife, and it's really ridiculous, but a really entertaining, fun game. Another short one, sadly, but while it lasts, it is a really good time. So yeah, gonna pop those in. Okay, sorry for that jump cut. I just sort of ran out of video there, but we've got two more games. I've got two more games to show you. The first one is on the Wii U, and a game I got for £30 in CEX, and that is Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Really fun game. A series that I'm not very good at. I'm not really much of a sort of fighting game aficionado. I enjoy these games for like the fan service alone, and the ability to sort of play with friends as well, like sort of competitive stuff. But yeah, I like the sort of the new additions to this game, like sort of Mega Man, Sonic, Pac-Man. Was it Game & Watch? I think is in this one, or not? No. But there's a variety of different characters. Oh, the Duck Hunt Dog. Yeah, that was an interesting one. But yeah, it's just like Smash Bros. Really. So you can use like amiibos as well, if that's your thing. But it's not really for me. But yeah, the game on its own is good, really good. A lot of very good DLC as well. And finally, the last game, going back to Black Flag, which I got, as I said, I got in sort of Maidstone a few years back on like a trip. There was another game that I saw at the time. It was around sort of the £18 mark, and I didn't buy it, and I've regretted it ever since. But I finally found a copy of it on Facebook for a decent price. I think it was around sort of 25, so not too bad, but I could have got it for cheaper. And that is the third game in the Project Zero series. Now, I've heard that this game is nowhere near as good as the first two. I don't know if it's any better or not than the recent one on the Wii U, but it's still apparently decent. So, yep, there we go. I was told that the disc needs a bit of a clean, and looking at it, I didn't think it was that bad personally. But it might need a little bit of a clean. I haven't really tested this one yet, but yeah, it's a third-person survival horror game where your only weapon is a camera, a sort of magical camera that can capture ghosts and destroy sort of ghosts really. And it's a bit out there. There's a lot of it has like its own boss battles as well that you can do. And yeah, it's a very underrated series, and it does really genuinely scare you at times. I know I played the first one. I played a little bit of the Wii U one as well, and it can freak you out at times. But yeah, really good series. And yeah, that is it. That's it for all the games I bought since when was the last video? Early June, so around sort of 2 months of collecting a lot of different stuff. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for another video. Take care.